If you've been using Linux for a while, there's a high chance that Ubuntu was your starting point. For years, Ubuntu has been the face of Linux for beginners, a go-to recommendation for anyone stepping into the open-source world. It built its reputation on ease of use, strong community support, and a balance between power and simplicity. But as we step into 2026, the Linux landscape looks very different. Ubuntu is no longer the only easy or powerful choice, and for many users, it's not even the best one anymore. The question now isn't just whether Linux is better than macOS or Windows, but whether Ubuntu is still the best Linux distribution, or if there are better options you should be using right now. The reality is that Linux has evolved rapidly. New distributions have emerged, older ones have improved, and user expectations have changed. People now want faster systems, cleaner interfaces, better privacy, and more control without unnecessary complexity. While Ubuntu still offers a solid experience, it has also made decisions over the years that not everyone agrees with. From design changes to system choices like snap packages, some users feel that Ubuntu has moved slightly away from the simplicity and openness that originally made it popular. This has opened the door for other Linux distributions to step forward and offer something different, and in many cases, something better. When comparing Linux distributions today, it's important to understand that better doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. Some users want a system that works out of the box with minimal setup. Others want complete control and customization. Some prioritize stability, while others want the latest features as soon as possible. This diversity is exactly what makes Linux so powerful, but it also makes choosing the right distribution more important than ever. One of the biggest changes in recent years is how beginner-friendly Linux has become. There was a time when Linux was considered difficult, something only developers or tech enthusiasts could use comfortably. That is no longer true. Many modern distributions are designed with simplicity in mind, offering clean interfaces, easy installation, and smooth performance. These systems challenge Ubuntu directly by providing an even more polished experience without sacrificing the power of Linux. Take performance, for example. Ubuntu is relatively efficient, but it's not the lightest option available. There are distributions that are specifically optimized for speed and low resource usage. These systems can run incredibly smoothly, even on older hardware, making them ideal for users who want maximum performance without upgrading their devices. This is where Linux truly shines compared to macOS, which is limited to Apple hardware and often requires newer devices for the best experience. Customization is another area where many distributions go beyond Ubuntu. While Ubuntu allows some level of customization, it still maintains a structured environment. Other Linux distributions take a different approach, giving users complete freedom to shape their system exactly the way they want. From changing the desktop environment to modifying system behavior, the possibilities are almost endless. This level of control is something macOS users rarely experience, as Apple prioritizes consistency over customization. Privacy has also become a major factor in choosing an operating system. In 2026, more people are aware of how their data is collected and used. Linux distributions, in general, offer a more privacy-focused experience compared to macOS. While Apple promotes privacy as a key feature, it still operates within a closed ecosystem. Linux, being open source, allows users to see exactly what the system is doing. Some distributions take this even further by minimizing data collection and focusing entirely on user control. This makes them attractive to users who value transparency and security. Another important factor is software management. Ubuntu introduced snap packages as a way to simplify software installation and updates, but this decision has been controversial. Some users appreciate the convenience, while others dislike the performance impact and lack of control. This has led to the rise of distributions that either avoid Snap entirely or offer alternative package management systems that are faster and more flexible. These systems give users more choice and often feel more responsive in everyday use. The user interface is another area where modern distributions are competing strongly. Ubuntu uses a customized version of the GNOME desktop, which is clean and functional, but not everyone finds it intuitive. Other distributions offer different desktop environments that may feel more familiar, especially for users coming from Windows or macOS. Some focus on minimalism, others on aesthetics, and some aim to replicate the look and feel of other operating systems. This variety allows users to choose an experience that matches their preferences instead of adapting to a single design. For developers, Linux has always been a powerful platform, but the choice of distribution can make a big difference. Some distributions are specifically designed for development, offering tools, libraries, and environments that are ready to use from the start. These systems can be more efficient and flexible than Ubuntu, especially for advanced workflows. At the same time, macOS remains a strong competitor in this space, particularly for developers working within the Apple ecosystem. However, Linux often provides more control and fewer restrictions, which can be a major advantage. Gaming on Linux has also improved significantly. While Ubuntu supports gaming, other distributions have focused more heavily on optimizing the gaming experience. With better compatibility tools and performance improvements, Linux gaming is becoming more accessible. This is an area where Linux is gradually catching up, not just with macOS but also with Windows. For gamers who prefer open-source systems, choosing the right distribution can make a noticeable difference. One of the most interesting trends in 2026 is the rise of distributions that focus on simplicity without sacrificing power. These systems are designed to be easy enough for beginners while still offering advanced features for experienced users. They often come with pre-installed software, optimized settings, and a polished interface that feels ready to use from the moment you install it. This approach directly challenges Ubuntu's position as the default beginner-friendly distribution. At the same time, there are distributions that go in the opposite direction, offering a more minimal and customizable experience. These systems start with a basic setup and allow users to build their environment from the ground up. While this requires more knowledge, it provides unmatched flexibility. For users who enjoy learning and experimenting, these distributions can be incredibly satisfying. Stability is another key factor. Ubuntu is known for its long-term support releases, which provide a stable and reliable environment. However, other distributions also offer strong stability, sometimes with more frequent updates or better performance. The choice between stability and cutting-edge features is an important one, and different distributions handle this balance in different ways. Hardware compatibility has improved across the Linux ecosystem, but it's still something to consider. Ubuntu has broad hardware support, which is one of its strengths. However, other distributions are catching up quickly, and some even offer better support for specific types of hardware. This means users now have more options without worrying as much about compatibility issues. Community support plays a huge role in the Linux experience. Ubuntu has one of the largest communities, which makes it easy to find help and resources. But other distributions also have active communities that are growing rapidly. In some cases, these communities are more focused and responsive, providing a better support experience for users. When comparing Linux to macOS in this context, the differences become even more interesting. macOS offers a polished and consistent experience, but it comes with limitations. You are restricted to Apple hardware, customization is limited, and the system is controlled by a single company. Linux, on the other hand, offers freedom, flexibility, and a wide range of choices. The question is whether you prefer a controlled and optimized environment or an open and customizable one. In 2026, the idea that Ubuntu is the best Linux distribution is no longer universally true. It is still a strong option, especially for beginners, but it is no longer the only choice. There are distributions that are faster, more customizable, more privacy-focused, and in some cases, easier to use. The best distribution for you depends on your needs, your experience level, and what you expect from your system. For someone who wants a simple and reliable experience, there are distributions that offer a cleaner and more intuitive interface than Ubuntu. For someone who wants maximum performance, there are lighter systems that run faster and use fewer resources. For someone who values privacy, there are distributions designed specifically for that purpose. And for someone who wants complete control, there are systems that allow deep customization at every level. The beauty of Linux is that you are not limited to a single choice. You can try different distributions, experiment with different environments, and find what works best for you. This freedom is what sets Linux apart from macOS and other operating systems. It allows you to shape your experience instead of adapting to a fixed system. As we move forward, the Linux ecosystem will continue to evolve. New distributions will emerge, existing ones will improve, and user expectations will keep changing. Ubuntu will likely remain an important part of this ecosystem, but it will have to continue adapting to stay relevant. The future of Linux is not about a single distribution dominating the market. It's about diversity, innovation, and user choice. This is what makes Linux exciting and why more people are starting to explore it as a serious alternative to traditional operating systems. So if you're still using Ubuntu and wondering if there's something better out there, the answer is yes. There probably is. But better doesn't mean the same for everyone. It means finding the system that fits your needs, your workflow, and your preferences. And in 2026, you have more options than ever to do exactly that.